Remember when we used external style sheets? Well, we can do the same thing with JavaScript files. We can include external JavaScript files. And here's how we do it. Here's our tic-tac-toe game. Here's our tic-tac-toe. And you see here, this line. This is the key line right there. We have, now you notice here we have an opening script tag, and then we have a whole bunch of script stuff. And then we have a closing script tag right there. But up here, we have an open script tag, and then immediately we have a closed script tag, and there's nothing in the middle. And that's because the script is being imported. We're including it here in our file. And we do that by using a source attribute. This looks familiar, right? We use a source attribute for images as well. We use it for script. And this tells it where to go to get the script, the file, I should say, that has the JavaScript in it. In this case, this means the current location. I can just do that if I want to. Maybe that makes it even easier, and it loads no problem. And that's because this is in the same folder as this whole file here. So this has JavaScript that I'm going to use here to make things easier for myself. And what JavaScript does it have? Well, it looks like we are creating a new object. So just as we have our apt.ns object, this is creating an object called UTL. UTL is short for utility. A utility in computer science or in programming is a function or a module or a set of functions, and we can call them utilities, a set of functions or modules that do useful things for us, and they're useful for all kinds of things, not just one item. I mean, sometimes we'll have helper functions that are good for just one application, one web page that we create. Utilities generally are useful across a wide variety of pages. So, excuse me. So, what does this do for us? Well, we have the UTL. So we have UTL, and you can see that we're defining a function, and we send in an ID to the function, and it returns document.getElementById. Aren't you tired of typing that? Well, I lost the D there. Aren't you tired of typing that again and again and again and again? I am, and I'm sure you are too. And so this provides us a quick way to do the same thing, but without having to type all of that all over again. So it takes in the ID, and then it calls document.getElementById and returns the element. So how does that help us? Well, let's come down to where we had this. Remember, we had typed document.getElementById every single time for every single row here. And now we don't have to do that. We do a lot less typing. utl.eid, utl.eid. Makes life easier, makes everybody happy, and we have to do less typing. And it doesn't change anything because we can still play tic-tac-toe. And of course, everybody's going to play well so that nobody wins, and it works. And here we still use the initialization that we had, and and so we don't have to put our data attributes here. We can just create them, and we have less typing, and we have this helpful utility. Now, as you go forward, if you want to copy this down from the web, and if you want to put that line in there, then you can use this. And the reason that this is UTL1 is that we're going to be adding more utility functions as we go along, and I'll just use a different number for the file as we add stuff in so that there's no misunderstanding about which is which. So that's a useful thing. You can write just like you could include style, you can write your own special JavaScript functions, put them in, you can put them in the same folder as this, or if this were in a different folder, then I would just give path information out here. And that includes them so that they're available for use. And the best thing, you don't have to write document.getElement by ID anymore.